Up high in the mountains, in the world of the great ice peaks, where powerful winds reign, dancing with the heavy snows, lives a wild cat with a majestic spotted fur. The snow leopard, or ounce, is also called the king of the mountains and has been added to the red list of the International Nature Protection Union as a rare species with a relatively small area of habitat and which also faces the risk of extinction. The large predator of the cat family is distinguished by a long, lean body and a very long tail. The smoky gray fur has dark rings and spots, and it can reach up to 55 to 60 kilograms in weight. This leopard has different names in different countries. It is interesting that its Russian name, Irbis, was adopted by the Russian merchants from the Asian hunters back in the 17th century. It is called a snow leopard in English, Pupi in Chinese, Toro in Japanese, the Uzbeks call it Alajibars, the Kalmyks call it Irgis, the Tatars Akbars, the Yakuts call it Hakai, and the Tungus call it Kunik, and the Mongols call it Irves.
Почти на всех языках, на английском в частности, он называется снежный леопард.
Almost in all languages, in English in particular, it is called a snow leopard. But in fact, geneticists have long established that it has absolutely no relation to leopards, although it looks like a leopard with its long body, long tail, and very short legs. Genetically, it is closer to tigers rather than leopards, which means we can confidently call it a snow tiger.
Можно его смело называть снежным тигром.
From Old Turkic, the name Irbis translates as the snow cat. The snow leopard female bears kittens once every 2 years. The pregnancy lasts for 90 to 110 days. The litter usually has 2 to 3 kittens, but sometimes the female can deliver up to 5 kittens. This predator can live up to 13 years in wild nature and up to 21 years in captivity. Snow leopards live in the mountain areas of Kazakhstan, Russia, Burma, India, Bhutan, Afghanistan, Mongolia, China, Nepal, Pakistan, and Tajikistan. The snow leopard is endemic to the Central Asian mountains, and it is at the top of the trophic pyramid. Their population in the Republic of Kazakhstan is 110 to 130 animals. The ancestral zoologist Alexei Grachov has seen the snow leopard with his own eyes in the mountains of the Transilya-Latau. His work entails a comprehensive study of the environment, ecology of the snow leopard, as well as the influence of various factors on their population.
Снежный барс является высшим хищником в наших горах. В экосистеме гор он занимает верхушку пищевой цепи.
The snow leopard is the top predator in our mountains, and in the ecosystems of the mountains, it is at the top of the food chain. This predator is very covert, so it's almost impossible to see it. You may spend all your life following its traces, trying to spot it, and it all may be useless. All you may find are some traces of the animal's activity, like here are some food leftovers. But people see it so rarely that even experienced scientists working in this field see it only a few times in their lifetime. The areas where snow leopards live are hard to reach, so zoologists make their expeditions along the mountain paths for long periods with tents and backpacks. Their work is hard, but very interesting.
Ну, речь не только о барсе. Вообще съемка диких животных, она сопряжена с большими трудностями. Ну, во-первых, аппаратура.
Well, we're not only talking about the snow leopards. Filming wild animals in nature entails a lot of difficulties. First of all, the equipment. The complete set of a photographer who wants to take shots from a long distance weighs 5 kilograms. When you're talking about snow leopards and other rare animals living in the mountains, even snowcocks, you have to film them with good equipment and good lenses. Otherwise, there's no point in filming them at all. So you can imagine the rock climber's gear plus 5 to 6 kilograms of filming equipment. So these are not the most envious of circumstances. Being alone there is not an option. First of all, several people should accompany you. This includes a ranger who can guide you to the snow leopard and friends who help you carry the equipment. This is very important. The second factor, and most important one, is that snow leopards live very high up in the mountains. Since their main food is the Siberian mountain goats, or ibex, that our people call teke, they live in places where teke live. And these tekhe are excellent rock climbers. In winter they come down a little bit lower, but still at the height of 3,000 to 4,000 meters, you can find open places warmed up by the sun, and that's where they feed. In 2015, Kazakhstan commenced a program for ecological monitoring of snow leopards using long-range sensing. And the purpose of the research project of the Zoological Institute and Kazakh Geographic Society is to study the area where this rare animal lives. According to scientists, in the early 20th century, snow leopards were seen very often in the Transili Alatau, but the increase in the human population, exploration of high-elevation lands, and intensive construction of tourist facilities resulted in a decrease of the snow leopard's area of habitat. In the mountain paths, gorges, and branches where these beautiful animals live, zoologists and volunteers installed 30 photo traps. The Zoology Institute had many reports that the snow leopard was noticed around the city of Almaty, but scientists had doubts about these reports.
Снежный барс избегает людных мест, старается не попадаться человеку на глаза, но тем не менее.
Snow leopards try to avoid places with humans and try to stay away from human sight. But still sometimes they come down to the city area, and we have cases when in the early 2016 we took photos of the snow leopard around 10 kilometers away from the city line. Snow leopards hunt in the dark and can move far from the area of habitat. Scientists say that the individual territory of snow leopards is large, and each of them protects their area, keeping other leopards away. They also claim that in the early 20th century, snow leopards were often spotted near Almaty. Before the use of photo traps, it was almost impossible to calculate the exact number of snow leopards. The equipment has heat and movement sensors and reacts to everything alive. Each snow leopard has an individual fur pattern, and photo traps help to identify individual animals on pictures with particular fur patterns. The animal identified by a photo trap is assigned an individual code, and zoologists arrange special passports where the snow leopard's data is recorded.
Снежный барс имеет отличительные такие пятна на шкуре.
Snow leopards have distinct spot patterns on their fur that are individual to each animal. For example, a clear pattern on their front paws, rear paws, and the head. It is just like fingerprints of people. They're individual for each animal, and based on that we can distinguish one animal from another. In the second stage of research, zoologists use satellite telemetry, and several species of the snow leopard will be marked by special satellite beacons. This will allow them to trace the location and movement of the marked animal in real time. This monitoring program allows to obtain new and unique information about the number, migration patterns, and social behavior of the snow leopards. Satellite marking is now widely used in studying the snow leopard in Nepal, Mongolia, Russia, Afghanistan, and Kyrgyzstan.
В конце прошлого года, в декабре месяце, сотрудники национального парка совместно с сотрудниками Института зоологии.
At the end of last year in December, the employees of the national park, together with the workers of the Zoology Institute, have set up a number of photo traps on the territory of the Aksai branch to record the snow leopard and other endangered species. Closer to the middle of spring, we plan to remove these photo traps. We're planning to make a field trip and see the report on the work and obtain the results.
Вот это как бы первый этап нашей работы.
This is the first stage of our work, and later we plan to set special satellite beacons on several snow leopards with the help of the Kazakh Geographic Society to trace the movement of the animal in real time. Tian Shan is considered to be a relatively young mountain system of the Alpine orogenic period. The northernmost range of Tian Shan, the Transili Alatau, stands tall to the south of Almaty, the population of 1.5 million people. The mountain range appeared 12 million years ago, and over the past century, a substantial part of it became covered with gardens and terraces, summer homes built at the foothills, and so the wild animals are moving even higher up. For some reasons, this factor is not considered. They say that there are very few snow leopards only because they're being killed off. But it is not only because of that. The killing of goats or creation of other inconvenient conditions makes the goats move somewhere else. And the snow leopards move away too. Just like any other predator, the snow leopards are at the peak of the food chain. So it is natural that their number is small. However, the photo traps recorded the appearance of a snow leopard just 10 kilometers away from the city. It is believed that snow leopards live at high elevations, and the animal tracks were noticed at an elevation of about 5,000 meters above sea level. But scientists know that this predator often hunts for animals that live much lower, in the zone of the alpine meadows, in river basins, or in the rocky areas where juniper grows. People call snow leopards the shepherds of mountain goats, and in places where Siberian mountain goats or ibex live, there are also snow leopards. This animal also hunts wild boars, mountain sheep, roe deer, Persian gazelles, hares, marmots, different rodents, snowcocks, rock partridges and fazans.
Дело в том, что, конечно, козероги – это вкусная пища, его надолго хватает. Я был свидетелем, что барс.
The thing is that, of course, the mountain goats are a good meal and they're good to feed the leopard for a long time. And I witnessed one snow leopard who was feeding on a mountain goat for several days. But if there are no tasty mountain goats available, snow leopards feed on little animals. If you remember, there is one Canadian writer, Farley Mowat. He wrote that most of the Arctic wolves feed on mice. Well, our snow leopards are just like them. They also feed on little animals. And the most numerous of the mountain animals are the marmots. So they eat them with great pleasure. And it doesn't matter the size because several marmots can very well replace one mountain goat. And since they rarely climb up the rocks because they like grass better, the snow leopards come down to catch them. The males follow their prey alone, while the females search for food along with their growing litter. And only in spring, during the mating season, both female and male hunt together.
Ну, иногда можно туда перед весной наблюдать игры барса с самкой.
Sometimes before spring you can watch the snow leopards playing, the female and the male. It is amazing. They roll in the snow when the first snow falls. Their fur is so thick and warm that they enjoy playing in the snow. They slide down just like the otters. I myself saw some snow leopards sliding down a slope, jumping and rolling in the snow, basically having fun. When exploring places with few trodden mountain paths, where only the rock climbers, mountain tourists, and workers of sanctuaries and national parks happen to wander, zoologists set up photo traps that record the snow leopard's activities 24/7 and all year round.
На сегодняшний день у нас уже снято более 20 снежных барсов. Вот, конечно, они фиксируются.
Today we already filmed more than 20 snow leopards. Of course, they were recorded with different frequency, and not all snow leopards there were already recorded yet to the photo traps. But around 10 animals with young kittens continue to be recorded in certain places. The task for the scientist is to preserve the conditions for the snow leopards to survive in wild nature.
Это животное практически не изученное до настоящего времени. Материал о нем собирался попутно лишь во время.
This animal is almost not studied, and until today, scientists gathered material about it only while they were studying other animals. And of course now, after the appearance of such advanced methods of studying and monitoring moving objects and their diversity, we can gather some good materials and investigate certain population-related parameters. Since their areas of habitat are hard to reach and their population density is low, the most important aspects of snow leopards' biology remain poorly studied.
Снежный барс занесен в Красную книгу Республики Казахстан, а также Красный.
The snow leopard has been added to the Red Book of Endangered Species of the Republic of Kazakhstan, as well as to other red lists of all 12 countries where it lives, also to the list of endangered species of the International Nature Protection Union. This animal is so rare in the area where it lives, so in all the countries where it inhabits, we currently estimate the number of snow leopards to be not more than 130 animals. And of course, their population has dropped compared to the 1980s, when their number was estimated at around 200 animals. With fully charged lithium batteries, the photo traps can work for a very long time. They are used by zoologists to study the places where the snow leopards live, count the number of species, figure out which adverse factors affect the population. Such data will be used to develop an approach to preserve the snow leopards in the Trans-Iliya Latau.
В Казахстане снежный барс обитает в западном Тянь-Шане.
In Kazakhstan, the snow leopard inhabits the western Tian-Shan, the northern Tian-Shan, which is the Trans-Iliya Latau. These are the biggest spots. Also, large areas of habitat are in the Jungara Latau, as well as in the Sao and Tarbagatai mountains. And we have a small population in Kazakhstan's part of the Altai Mountains, in the East Kazakhstan region. The highest elevation of the Trans-Iliya Latau is the Talgar mountain chain, where the Almaty National Park is located. This is one of the centers of modern glaciation of the Trans-Iliya Latau, where the biggest glaciers of the northern Tian-Shan are concentrated, the Korzhenevsky and the Bogatyr glaciers. Sometimes scientists of the Nature Protection Organization observe the snow leopard from a distance while walking through the territory and counting the number of animals and birds.
Где-то в июне месяце, получается, 2014 года, в дневное время с охотоведу Аксайского филиала главному бахтяру удалось.
In June of 2014, during daytime, the game manager of the Aksai branch, Nurlan Bakhtiyarov, managed to shoot a unique video. He was walking as usual to patrol the territory and met a snow leopard at the height of 2,500 meters above sea level in the fir tree belt. It was a unique case for the national park, the first live encounter that was filmed on video. The snow leopard was sitting on a rock for a long time, and the game manager was filming it for quite a while.
Кстати, барсы довольно миролюбивые животные. Не отмечено ни одного случая нападения барса на человека.
By the way, snow leopards are quite peaceful animals. There is no case recorded of a snow leopard attacking a human. Moreover, it's not always afraid of humans. I observed the snow leopard very closely several times, but I was not alone then, and we scared the animal away. So you need good long-distance equipment, at least as good as this one. And secondly, there is luck. And thirdly, you have to be physically fit to run in the mountains. Rock climbers encounter snow leopards very often, but honestly, snow leopards are very careful animals, and many people can walk by them without noticing when it's only 10 to 20 meters away from them. It is gray among the gray rocks, and it has perfect protective coloring. For Kazakhstan, the snow leopard is one of the state symbols. Historically, this animal is a symbol of Turkic nations, a sacred animal, and today it is one of the endangered species. The snow leopard has been added to the Red Book of the International Nature Protection Union as a vulnerable animal. In Mongolia's Red Book, this kind is assigned with the status of very rare. In the Russian Red Book, at the risk of extinction. The snow leopard has been added to the first attachment to the Convention on the International Trade of Endangered Species of Fauna and Flora. This beautiful animal has to be protected, which is what the scientists in many countries of the world are trying to do.